What you're about to witness is an epic carry in the Tier 8 German battlecruiser Prinz Rupprecht. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic when I say that, but you can give me your analysis in the comments section. I want to talk about the choices that allowed me to achieve this carry, and we'll start by taking note of our spawn, which is on the northwestern flank of this map near the Charlie Cap. We've got a Shimakaze and a Wooster with us. The Shimakaze is making his opening move by charging headfirst into the Charlie Cap, an aggressive tactic to be sure, but one that is likely to yield some intelligence data. It's not going to be too long before that Shima starts spotting some reds, but the way he's approaching that cap with the two islands there and the one in the center is going to restrict his ability to maneuver and spot, I think. And there are radar cruisers on the enemy team. We're going to move up as well. Along with this Wooster, we're going to put the island between ourselves and the location of the Reds so that we can conceal our approach and ideally control the engagement. The Shima, though, has quite disturbingly spotted an enemy Des Moines, and by all indications, he appears to be within radar range of the Des Moines. That is, for reasons I don't think I need to elaborate on, not good. Even worse, the Shima has now spotted an Ibuki, and the Ibuki is also occupying the Charlie Cap. He happens to be pushing straight for the Shimakaze's position. Also, not good for reasons I don't think I need to elaborate on. If the Shima gets spotted and gets taken out this early in the game, that could spell disaster for our team. So we come around the corner here, training our guns and our secondaries on the Ibuki. We take a shot after adjusting our aim, and the results are, as you might expect, somewhat disappointing. Meanwhile, an Alaska rounds the corner of the island over there, takes a shot at our broadside and thankfully misses. Our secondaries are beginning to do work on the Ibuki, and we spot the enemy Yugamo, who we instantly select as our secondary target. Yugamo disappears, so we turn our attention back to the Alaska, who is showing us, rather kindly, a nice juicy broadside, another salvo at another cruiser, and, as you might have guessed, another disappointing result with 3 overpens. But our secondaries are doing some work, and they're shooting once more at the Yugamo. In fact, they're shredding the Yugamo. As you can see here, he doesn't appear to be having a good time. Unfortunately, they're not going to take him out, a fact that is going to come back and haunt us as we lose vision of the Yugamo on almost no health. Ibuki is pushing in, though, 6 kilometers away from us. He does have IJN torpedoes, which hit quite hard, so we turn on the sonar, and our secondaries are getting to work. We're taking some shots from a Des Moines and from an enemy battleship. Here comes the battleship salvo, or no, that was that was the battleship salvo. It hits our stern and deals a lot of damage. So we have to disengage. We cannot sustain this kind of focus fire. We are the only visible ship to like 5 enemy ships, I think. And if we continue to be the only visible ship, then we are not going to continue to float for much longer. Luckily, one of our teammates takes out the Ibuki, and that gives us a little bit of respite. We can take maybe a pot shot at this Des Moines. We certainly can't resist that shot, actually, with him poking around the corner like that. And we're able to tap his citadel there with at least 1 shell. The smoke screen between us and the Des Moines should hopefully prevent us from continuing to remain spotted. And note how we are messing with the throttle here, going full forward and full reverse. That is to throw off some of the Des Moines' shots. That's something you can do in these German battlecruisers quite easily, is juke some incoming shells from especially cruisers with floaty shell arcs like the Des Moines, but even at longer ranges, battleships. Something to keep in mind. We are spotted again, though, which we announce to our team, hoping that the Wooster will understand the Yugamo is in our vicinity, but the Shimakaze spots him. He's got almost no health left. We take a shot. We don't take very long to aim, though, and RNG says we don't get to hit the Yugamo. He's just out of our secondary range, but the Wooster is firing at him. managing to connect with some armor-piercing shells, unfortunately, and once again the Yugumo gets away. But we know he's got, like, no health left, and he knows that he is essentially a one-shot kill for even our secondaries. So that's going to limit the choices he can make. It is going to restrict his ability to make risky plays, and therefore we feel a little bit safer in pushing in. Plus, we take note of the last known location of the Des Moines, Alaska, and I think Musashi out there. All three of them are south of the island, to the very south of the Charlie Cap, and the Montana is inside of the Charlie Cap. The island is separating him from his teammates, which is also separating his teammates from me. So if I round this corner, I'm essentially going to be facing the Montana 1 versus 1, and that broadside, well, it looked good, but we missed the Citadel. I think perhaps we aimed too high. Our secondaries are beginning to work on the Montana. They're scoring some damaging hits. But we do select the Des Moines as our secondary target when we notice the Montana is about to go down to Shimakaze torpedoes. The Des Moines, though, is at about half health, and we don't want to allow him to push toward our Shima. He's turning away, and in his turn, he should be vulnerable to our armor piercing. We hit his Citadel once more, and we're continuing to push forward inside of the cap. Still spotted, though, and nothing has a line of sight on us. Nothing visible, but there's the torpedoes. Yugumo has our broadside, and that is a little bit of a problem. This is where I think I could have made perhaps a different choice in this game, and I think luck was on my side in some cases here in this next sequence. Note, by the way, we took some shells from an invisible source. That is the Alaska, who I admittedly was not thinking about at the time I was playing this. I had completely forgotten about that Alaska's existence. But I did notice the Yamato in the center of the map, sort of south of the Bravo cap there on the minimap, and I decided I would need to turn and sort of face him. There's one of his salvos taking away about 6,000 of our hit points. Plus, I don't think you really want to sail into a Yugumo. It's going to be much harder for the Yugumo to torpedo me if I'm sailing away from him. However, remember what I said about that Alaska that I'm definitely not thinking about. There he is, and he's got our broadside. It's just a matter of luck that he decides not to shoot at it, and we are going to continue our turn. We don't even really care that we're giving broadside to the Yamato. We cannot occupy this position. We will be destroyed. The other battleship out there, the Musashi, takes a shot at us, and that just solidifies in our minds that we have to get away. The island in the center of the cap should block the Yamato's line of sight, and if we can push a little bit further to the right of the screen there while the Alaska reverses, we should be able to put the island to the south of Charlie between ourselves and the enemy ships. We're going to kind of wiggle around and zigzag as we retreat in order to potentially throw off shots from the Musashi or the Alaska. We're somewhat successful in that, but we have been reduced to 8,700 hit points. So we really, really need to disengage and reacquire some hit points, maybe deploy a repair party. We've still got 2 left, and we're 35 seconds away from being able to use one. But note that we are now blissfully unspotted, which means the Yugumo does not have a line of sight on us. Trying to see if we could get the Musashi there, but it's probably better we didn't. Now we can hopefully take a breath, slow down, secure this cap, and reassess the situation. Our repair party is seconds away from cooldown, and as soon as we're able to deploy that, we will hopefully be able to consider pushing in a little bit more. Musashi appears to be pushing to the right of the screen, and we might have a shot on him here over the island. Taking that opportunistic shot does pay off. We are able to hit the Musashi's Citadel, and we're back up to almost 15,000 hit points. Seems like our secondaries might be able to tag the Des Moines, maybe not. Still not spotted by the Yugumo, though. So can we push forward or can't we? We're trying to determine what the enemy is doing. By all indications, it looks like the Musashi and the Des Moines are both pushing in this direction toward the Worcester. They are going to demolish the Worcester if they are allowed to do that, so I'm going to send some torpedoes around that island in hopes that they will catch the pushing battleship and cruiser. There's the Musashi. The Yamato in the center has been taken out, so it's only the Musashi we have to worry about. And by the looks of it, the Des Moines. The Alaska is on low health, and he is not interested in pushing out. But both the Des Moines and the Musashi are committing. We've launched nearly all of our torpedoes, but we're not quite sure what the Musashi is going to do, and it's likely we're going to die here. Musashi appears to be accelerating, so we launch our last set of torpedoes on the path that he would theoretically accelerate into as we try to put this island between ourselves and the enemy ships. We're at 1,600 hit points, and the Musashi overmatches us as we take out the Alaska and earn the high caliber medal. Still got a fire burning on the Musashi and incoming torps. Will they hit? Well, the answer to that is yes. There's one, and it turns out it's just a flesh wound. Musashi goes down, and we also get the Arsonist medal with all the fires we lit on the Musashi. The rest of the game is spent by my 3 remaining teammates hunting the Kleber with varying degrees of success. In fact, I think the Kleber is going to take down our destroyer here, who is sitting stationary. He is an Elbing, so he's quite clumsy and vulnerable to this kind of thing. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. Good consolation prize, I suppose, for the Kleber, but there's absolutely no way he's going to win, facing off against a full health Worcester and a full health battleship whose identity I cannot see. In any case, we end the battle with a glorious victory, and pretty much carry on our part. 192,000 damage done, and actually almost 3,200 base XP. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.